then I'll
Uh,
ask the question again, Joseph. So what are the highlights of your business that you offer to people? If you could explain that to us in a couple of minutes, that would be awesome.
Sure. So for a quick background, I have a master's in electrical engineering and an MBA in finance and a degree from the Department of Defense in program management and a few other uh, educational background pieces. I was the director of technology for Lockheed Martin back in the mid 90s. And we spun out of that a company called L3 Communications, which is a big success story. We grew it from 500 million to 8 billion when I left in 2005, and they eventually sold to Harris for 14 billion. So it was quite a good run. I left in 2005 and started what turned out to be the largest biometric and identification company, L1 Identity Solutions. We did everything from finger, face, iris, facial recognition, all of the hardware, software, and algorithms behind it, and we supplied that technology to the State Department, Department of Defense, CIA, Special Operation Force, et cetera, so forth. I had I'm sorry, I should go back to L3, where I developed explosive detection systems for TSA. So after 9/11 happened, I took the company from an $8 million investment to $20 million a year in 2000. And then when 9/11 happened, I grew that to 370 million with about 75 million in net profit, and was pretty steady state until I left. I left because my next step was to become the CEO, but the CEO's father lived to 99 at that point in time, and I figured I'd be waiting around a long time before I'd get an opportunity to run the company. Anyhow, the L1 was a big success. We sold that for $1.6 billion in 2011. I was a bit bored and playing a lot of golf, but that's not how I wanted to spend the rest of my life. So I started a company called Integrated Defense and Security Solutions, and we developed the best technology for TSA and airports around the world for the detection of explosives and weapons. And then subsequently, I had them develop that to intercept narcotics that were coming in. And we were very successful with that. We beat out 80 companies in having the best technology for the detection of opioids. And that's being used by Customs and Border Patrol in the United States and being looked at by others. I patented a design for a cargo pallet scanner, which uses similar technology so that you can scan an entire pallet without having to break it down and look for explosives, weapons, narcotics, etc. in that. And I resigned from there at the end of 19. And kind of went freelance. I still own a piece of the company, but my focus now is to help startups. So I've got stuff in the biometric identity space and in the security technology space. And then I had a little side project where I sold a machine shop where they thought they were going to get about 22 million, and I got them $40 million for it. So I'm a jack of all trades. I've been involved with a lot of different businesses, mergers, acquisitions, technology development, and pretty much across the board type of technology knowledge.
Wow, that is incredible, Joseph. I already have one for you, just so you know. We need to talk about it. Okay,
Sure.
who would you like to ask a question in this group?
Well, I mean, what is your
You have to pick one of the people that's in the group.
Oh, okay. So let me pick Martha, since she's just joined in. Martha, why are you on this platform, and what do you expect to get out of it?
Now I'm expecting a reality show. So why am I in this platform? I love it because we all come from different places. I mean, you just heard some people are from San Diego, some people are from Florida. I'm in Chicago. So it's great because we have all these people from different places, and we all talk about topics that are important to our businesses. We hear about your business, your challenges, your successes. And even though we're not probably in the same industry, one way or the other, you'll be my customer or there's a customer of that. So I learned what are your needs and what are your pain points. So it's like an environment where I'm just not only learning from my business, I'm also learning about possible clients. And it's just an environment to learn about other things from your way of thinking and my way of thinking. So it's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you, Martha. Okay, Martha, your turn. Who would you like to ask?
Barbara, they haven't asked you, right?
Nope.
Are you part of the Fire Up Connect?
No, I just received a notice and,
Oh, so this is your
so
first.
this is
okay.
my first foray into this, so I'm just.
So
kind of
I have
listening.
a good question. So what made you come today? Like, what
Um,
intrigued you? What got you curious?
Yeah, what made me curious is that it was a networking opportunity and I'm in out-of-home advertising. And so, always looking for new opportunities, new ways to, develop new clients and provide the different tactics that we offer, in the out-of-home advertising community. And also, I don't know, I had the sense that there might be some women-owned companies that were on this. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is to become licensed as minority women's owner, which will enable us to get a lot more business RFPs, for what we do. And I know that that's been quite a challenge. So kind of looking to see if anybody, shared that.
That's awesome, Barbara. Thank you. All right, Barbara, who would you like to pick? Do you have Mark or Paul?
Where are you located again, Barbara?
I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, you're what part of Connecticut?
I'm in Southern Connecticut in North Stamford. So I'm
Oh,
quite
you
a ways
are.
from San Diego.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I grew up outside of Boston.
And we were
Okay.
just in Boston the other day. We had a
Oh, really?
client meeting and it was wet and rainy and cold and
I
oh,
bet.
but it was a good
My
meeting.
office in my identity solution company was at 177 Broad Street, right next to the mall.
Oh,
And
okay.
Looking at Macy's, going to Macy's, on the left is a black building, and I forget what floor we were on, maybe 12 or something like that.
Downtown
Hmm.
Stamford.
Spent 6 years there. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Barbara, you have to make your choice, Paul or Mark.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So Mark, I guess the question is, what industry are you in and what are you looking to achieve with this platform?
So we're based out here in San Diego. I don't know if you were on earlier when I was kind of giving Paul the rundown. So we focus on the commercial industry out here, anywhere from life sciences to, pretty much any commercial sector, small to medium sized businesses. And we work with them to, relocate customers. We do furniture. We work with about 150 different vendors. And then we do low voltage cabling installs. So really just trying to build client relationships here. We've been doing this for about 30 years now. Now things are turning around because of, COVID. I hate that. Yeah, but so a lot of offices are either moving or downsizing. We have a warehouse and a showroom out here in Serrano Valley as well. So really trying to get out of this. I know Marie and I have spoken a couple times. We work with typically just the customers that are down here in Southern California. So for you in Connecticut, it might be hard, but I can always,
Actually, we do business across the country. So we
Oh,
do
do?
quite a
Yeah.
bit in San Diego. So
Yeah. You have to have an office out here though. You being in Connecticut won't help me too much. That's the only thing.
Yeah, Mark, a lot of people are moving out of California and going to Austin.
I
Texas.
know.
that's right.
Yeah,
People
we've
live in
done that, yeah.
California in droves. So yeah.
Arizona, we did a movie out of Arizona. People are going, Las Vegas. Yep.
Wow.
One of my
Awesome.
people just left California and moved to New York. So
Hey, we're the highest priced living out here now. We beat San Francisco. Just got released.
wow.
Gas too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Mark, you got Paul.
I think we got everyone right. Mark will
You
talk,
still
Paul
have to
talk.
ask Paul, yes.
Paul's left.
Paul, I guess you want to talk about your business as well? I can't really say what you're going to get out of this because he's been
Yeah.
he's like the partner of this.
Oh, really?
Well, usually you would see my face right now, and but I'm always attentive to having my face. But today is just not a day for this because we're at home and we're just taking care of cleaning up around here because there's going to be guests coming. But I have to concur with Barbara, Joseph, and Mark about California. That's one of the reasons why I left. I'm born and raised, attended school, started a business in San Francisco, and still doing business there. And yes, California really, really is expensive. And you have to start looking for different opportunities. I think my business definitely don't wear as many hats as Joseph, but definitely I've been in the real estate.
Joe, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Joe. Okay. I've been in the real estate industry, both residential and commercial, for many years. I just followed my dad and my uncle's footsteps, and they were builders in San Francisco and real estate investors, and their sister was the broker. And so I literally grew up in this industry. The reason why I moved to Rio Rancho is I saw a huge opportunity. If anyone has visited Rio Rancho, it's a state, they usually or would call it the flyover state because there wasn't much happening here. It's an enchanting place, beautiful area. People love it for the outdoor living, beautiful vista of the mountains here. But like anywhere, people are going to move where they're going to get more for their dollar. And so there are a lot of people that are moving, have moved here, and the population increases at least 15% every year. It used to be, it's about 40 years old, this city. It used to be primarily a retirement community, but now they see that the average age is about 36. So, you're at your prime at that age. People want to start families, if they haven't moved over here with families. And so it's a great opportunity. Real estate is climbing here though. And what we're doing is we're focusing on the Civic Center Plaza of this city to be a big part in building the Civic Center. And when I say Civic Center, I literally mean the Civic Center. There's only one building, the City Hall building, and probably the HP building. But other than that, it's just a blank slate. And so it's a huge opportunity for us.
It's not quite built yet, right?
Yeah, no, it's not quite built. No. And so I think what ended up happening back in the subprime fiasco, the Great Recession, that's when people were starting to move there. That happened. So everything came to a halt because they moved the Civic Center to that geographic location because it was more centralized to the city. And so that put a kibosh to everything. And so and then now with the COVID thing. So I think they're ready. They're really wanting to grow. So, but they don't grow as fast as, I think the mentality here isn't as quick-minded as, the coastal cities, San Francisco, San Diego, LA, New York, places like that, Chicago. So I think that's been the challenge, but we're, it's great because there are people moving here from different states. So that's nice.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Paul. Now you get to ask me again. It's like for some reason it's every meeting.
Was Martha? Okay. Yeah. Martha did ask. She was asked. Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Marie, is so to you, it's not a challenge to always think of something new for your group twice a week. And this is just this platform. I'm sure you have other things. So what keeps you just motivated? Do you have like a go-to book that helps you, or please tell us your line of thinking here?
For creating the Fire Up Connect, is that what you're asking?
Well, creating just the format of how we'll be talking. Sometimes you think of different words or something that's of interest that we could talk about. How do you come up with these things?
Well, I actually sometimes pick up from what I hear from the group. So something that triggers me and I wanted to have more discussion about it. That's how I create it. Sometimes, it just, comes up in my mind and that's it. I'm pretty improv, but, the whole thing about the Fire Up Connect for me is, finding the right people with, the right intention of creating an opportunity. So when, for example, hearing from Joseph what his experience are and what his accomplishments, that triggered a lot of the things that I'm working on with other people. And I can see some connections already. So Fire Up Connect really triggers it. It triggers information, and it creates an opportunity for all of us. So, and I like to vet people. I like to listen how they communicate and how they look at life and what's their perspective in business. I mean, first of all, I need to like the person, if there's something there that I'm attracted to, I'm already, paying attention to it. And then at the same time, I'm interested in learning more. And so after the the introduction here, I actually try to make a follow-up meeting with people, because if I'm really, motivated to connect with that person, I will go ahead and follow up. So the Fire Up Connect is a good way to, showcase yourself, and, in terms of, what you do, because it is all about presentation also in so many ways, how you present yourself, how you communicate with people, because we're in the business world. You have to be able to impress people and be able to share your information in a short period of time. And a lot of people have trouble sharing their information in 1 to 2 minutes, but it depends on how you can attract people. So but the example that Joseph did, that's a lot of amazing accomplishments, and right away it just triggered, and that's why I like Fire Up Connect. So did I answer your question, Paul?
Yes, you did, Marie. That is awesome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the next part of our meeting, which is what we call expert section. And from hearing from what I just experienced, just a few days ago, we were talking about, I have this other organization called the Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs, and we set up a goal of, and we agreed upon that goal. But one of the people that we had in that team, it's like totally ignored it, and it's like, did we not have a good understanding of our agreement? And for me, it's word of honor. Okay. And so let's talk about word of honor here. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Mark, and what you think about that in your business and how you look at it as a whole.
So word of honor
Yes.
is what you're looking for. I mean, for us, it's just, I mean, we have certain, I guess, guidelines that we follow that's in our service contract to customers, and some of the larger ones we deal with, like Sony and Scripps, it's just repeat business from them and referrals. So in order to represent us the best, I mean, it kind of reflects on us as a whole. So, I mean, we have under 50 people here in our warehouse and showroom. So, I mean, I think it's pretty important for us to follow that. And at least for me, I don't know if that answers your question, but.
No, it's whatever, however you want to say it. Again, this is just a topic, and you can create whatever story you want to say about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Thank you so much, Mark. Let's move on to Joseph.
Repeat the question you want. Me to answer.
It's the topic is word of honor, and so
Bless you, Martha.
Talk about whatever it is about word of honor in your principles of life or business. So just kind of share your thoughts about it.
Yeah, word of honor. I think that I'll talk about that from the downside. Yeah, I'm a little bit too trusting of people. Take their words, but people tend to take advantage of others when they can. And
Sad.
something I've learned is, you need to have everything in writing and protect yourself, especially when lawyers are involved. But one thing that I was proud of when I was dealing with the government is that they used to say that I had a tremendous passion for what I do, because I do. I mean, I went in there and I invented an industry. You'll see in airports throughout America that the checkpoints will no longer be scanning your bag with the X-ray scanner. And I took a leap of faith back in 2012 saying that the threat is going to get worse and the equipment that they have is not sufficient to properly determine if there is explosives or weapons in people's bag. And certainly there was nothing for scanning mail parcels that had fentanyl in it. So I started the company and raised money through people I know who brought in other people they know and so forth. I raised $40 million. And I also obtained about 40 plus million from the government once they got on board and they realized what I was doing. But I do remember back in 2014, meeting with TSA and having the head of the Office of Security tell me, we don't have a requirement for your technology. I said, I'm not here to sell you today. I'm telling you what we're developing because you will have a need. That person subsequently told another colleague that not jumping on board with me was the biggest mistake he ever made. And in 2015, they ran an undercover test and proved I was right. And you may not know this, but the TSA was tested by the Inspector General office who had undercover agents go in and they were able to sneak 96% of things through checkpoints. And they went, oh my God. But in their infinite wisdom, they said, well, we'll have to retrain all 45,000 agents, not understanding that the agents weren't unwilling to do their job well. The technology that we're using was insufficient. And then in 2017, they ran the test again and the results were worse. They wouldn't even announce the actual ones. I got told by people in Congress that it was 98%. So most people in the world don't realize how big a problem is, and especially since no planes are blowing up. So, you know, when everything's kosher, everybody says, well, we don't have a requirement. But you do have a serious problem there, and especially as they get more and more advanced in exotic explosive weapons and so forth, with these plastic guns as they now manufacture and so forth. And then independent of that, nobody can deny that the need for detecting fentanyl coming to this country is a major, major issue that needs to be addressed. Yet the customs people are afraid of their own shadow. You know, nobody wants to make a decision that may be looked upon negatively, so they test to death. And when you're a startup company, you can't afford to sit around and be tested to death. And that's the world that I left, that I was in, that my team is still going after, and it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge, but I think that there's a good future for it as it starts to get more and more adapted. So anyhow, now I'm helping other companies. In fact, I have a company in San Diego in a town called Poway, P-O-W-A. You maybe know that one, Mark?
Poway?
Poway, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're doing
Yep.
really well. They're doing body scanners for prisons, and they've sold over 500 in the last couple of years because prisoners are carrying weapons, hiding them in parts of their body, swallowing drugs that they're sneaking in, and that's been a big success, thank God.
Wow.
And interestingly, just a little side story, I've now brought in the FBI because our main competitor is from Belarus. And Belarus is not a very
No.
friendly United States country anymore under the circumstances. And we spoke with them a couple of days ago. The Belarusian company is obfuscating where they're manufacturing it. And they actually are shipping stuff through a circuitous route, you know, first to Lithuania, then to Germany, then to Mexico, then driving it across the border to hide that they're manufacturing things in Belarus. Anyhow, that's the world I'm living in right now.
Well, thank you so
It's
much.
interesting, you know, I want to get more involved in other projects and get on
Okay.
more boards and things like that.
Well, we definitely have a lot of projects, Joseph. Okay, Barbara, you're next. Word of honor.
Oh, word of honor. Word of honor to me sounds like my word is my bond. And, you know, we're very, you know, out of home is a bit of a cutthroat marketplace, which is pretty prevalent in advertising. And one of the things that sets us apart from others is that we're very loyal to our clients. We wouldn't share our information to a competitor, for example. We'll work with the competitor, but we'll never say, oh yeah, we do that with this one, we do that with that one. We're very loyal in that respect, and people appreciate that. We're also very loyal, and we impart that to our employees that work for us. You know, my husband would say, who's my partner CEO, that when you're with the one you love the one you're with. And so, you know, you're not really looking to share as much with other people unless it's more of kind of an indirect basis. Another way is that we're very loyal to our vendors that we work with. And so we vet them out very, very carefully. And so when we deal with them, we'll, you know, we only give them information that needs to be. And again, we're not going to share with somebody else, oh, this one does this one. That's how I see it. And we really, you know, we stand by that credo, and it really sets us apart from a lot of other companies because they feel a certain amount of trust with us. And that's how we've been able to grow from a little peanut company in 2008 to where we are now, with working with so many various vendors and so many different clients that are saying, you know, like, what else can you do for us? You know, we want to be your one-stop shopping. And, you know, we don't want to work with this one, that one, because we know that you've got your finger on the pulse and you know what you're doing. And, you know, we know that whatever we're going to tell you, you know, you're not going to go out and like blab it. They just have a certain comfort factor is, you know, the best way that I can put it. And, you know, I'm confident with that. And I feel really good about it. And, you know, it makes me want to get up in the morning and, you know, and share my knowledge, but in the way that I know how to do it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So that's how I see it.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Okay, Martha, what about you?
The word is word of honor or honesty. Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, however you want to look at it.
Honesty. The best way to say it is transparent. And I think we lose transparency when there's problems. When the person that you're going to talk to or communicate this information is not going to like what you're saying. So I think that's when it's a challenge. It's good to be honest, it's transparent when things are going well, but you have to do the same when things are going bad. So I'm really good at that. I learned that throughout the years. When I was younger, I was like, oh, how am I going to break this down to these people? So sometimes you just break it down and tell them, but then you conclude saying, what can we both do to make this work? Like you say, okay, this is, how can we work together? Because a lot of times people break business because they don't get along or things didn't work their way. So it's important to have open communication, and that's where their transparency comes from, because anyone can figure things out. Even when it comes to divorce, I feel like that's so dumb. Can humans just figure it out? But they can't. But it's so easy. It's just communicating and talking. No matter in what situation you're in. I told my husband, like, if we ever like break apart, we need to talk things out. Like, we have to get emotions and all of that away, because we are humans built with brains, so we can get that in words. We don't need a third party.
That's actually very good. Okay, Paul, you're next.
Oh, there he is.
I don't know about you, but I get a kick out of Martha. Martha, you know what? What you just said is so important. I think talking really, really is the key to a lot of things. Hence, when you mentioned work of honor, to me, the words that come to mind is diligence in completing an obligation or fulfilling an obligation, right? So, you know, so much of that has been lost. You know, it's so easy now to say something through digital, say, communications. It's so easy to say something and you don't feel like, oh, well, they're not paying any attention and to the other meeting, or I'll do this and do that. I think, so to me, honor is something that is an obligation that I myself need to fulfill, because that's going to reflect on me. How's my reputation going to be on this? And I'm a proponent for communication like Martha. I think just growing up in my life, I've seen that there are a lot of issues that human beings we have because we don't want to talk about these things. So, everyone wants to put a Band-Aid on it and go to the next step. Well, wait a minute. What is the problem? Why have we gotten to this stage? And so I think communication should always be a part of this. And that's part of your honor to be able to communicate and fulfill an obligation. I don't know if that answers your question.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. All right. I would like to just ask everyone to take 30 seconds and put your comments. Any feedback that you can put on the chat so everybody can see it. Feedback on what you heard from everyone. Any observations, whatever, you can put it on the chat. We'll take 30 seconds.
You got to hit on mute. What time are we going till?
We're supposed to be over at noon, but if you
Okay.
guys are willing to, extend just to finish the meeting, I'm good with that too. It's up to you. I don't know if you have a meeting right after this. You just let. Okay. Thank you so much for your input. Thank you. All right. All right. So the last part of our meeting is what we call business share time. This is where we get to, you get to share one of your challenges, excuse me, challenges or specific goals or any short success stories that you can share. We have 9 minutes left. So if we can make it quick in terms of how you can do that, that would be awesome. So I'll start with this time with Barbara. Barbara, you can go ahead. That'd be great.
Not sure if I understand exactly what you're.
So you have a time to share, like about a minute, to share your success story or a challenge or a specific goal that you want people to know.
Okay, so yeah, success story. Yeah. Yeah, so we started the business in 2008, and it was really kind of like a germ of an idea, because I came from radio, and my husband came from printing, and so kind of got into out of home and started to come up with ideas out of just using my old background, and found that a lot of people, things that I thought were like automatic, people didn't really. It's like, wow, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? And so started with like one client, and then they say, okay, well, what can you do for me? And can you do this? Can you do that? The company started growing on its own. It just started mushrooming out of just an idea of offering something a little bit different in the arena. I know nobody here is in the marketing area, but there's the tried true traditional billboards, and then there's all the other things that are like up in the branches, which is opposite the low hanging fruit, as I called it. And, found that people really appreciate having someone who not just listens, but hears. And so what we bring to the table is that we really care about our advertisers. It's not all about, how much money we're going to make from it. Of course, we want to, but we're going to be there from the beginning. Whatever it is that they need, we're there for them, and that they appreciate the fact that somebody in this group mentioned about passion. That's one of the things that we have passion. And I think that that's helped us to grow with various companies. It's been fascinating to me. It's a real success. We're actually on the precipice of picking up, after all these years, a company that came to us for one market and are now looking for us to be their agency of record for Out of Home in all the markets where they're going to be continuing to grow. And that's exciting to me. So-
Amazing. Thank you, Barbara. All right, Mark.
All right, I got a quick one for you, Marie.
Okay.
So we had a customer, we just did an install at the therapist's office. They just moved into a new location out in Poway, of all places. They could hear, it was a family therapist, they could hear everyone talking within the office. They wanted us to provide a solution for them to help mask the sound. So we do sound masking. So we just actually completed the install yesterday. So now we play music. So if you're familiar with sound masking, so we created a zone in the reception area that plays music. And then in the rooms, they have, it sounds like an HVAC or an air conditioning. So now the therapist can't hear everyone fighting or talking or whatever in between the offices.
Okay.
So she's really happy about that.
Awesome. Thank you.
There's your success story.
All right. Thank you. Martha.
Oh, you look good today.
Paul, you look good today. That's what Martha said.
Yeah, you look sharp. I like it.
And he's
My
got guests
success-
coming over.
I told him, actually, I said, are you ready for a James Bond fashion show?
Yeah, he looks like he's gonna go on a fashion show.
You're muted, Paul.
Thank you very much. That's so sweet of you, Martha. I appreciate that. My mom always showed me how to dress and my mom and dad. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And Marie, anytime you want to show me that James Bond car, I am there.
That's good. All right, Martha.
So something very exciting. This is my first workshop through Solex Business Services, which is my company. Yeah, I put Guero's pallets there. I do so many things. I wear lots of hats. But the one I wear here in Fire Connect is Solex Business Services. And what we do is we help business scale up using their numbers. So Barbara said, we're all passionate. Yes, that is something that every business owner has. I don't have to show them passion or motivation. What they need is a strategy that is number-based, because if you want to reach a number, use the numbers to get to that number. And that's what I do. So I'm doing a workshop on April 22nd from 6 to 7:30 p.m. I actually accidentally put the link earlier than I had to. And I have a math background. So yes, we're going to use math. You're going to learn what data you need to collect. We're going to use the worksheets, and you're going to have the data. I have a workbook for this. Like I have a teacher who's helping me create this lesson. So it's clear, because sometimes the numbers can be confusing. So I made it simple for everyone to understand and get their question answered. So I put a list of the questions here. I put the link on the chat box. So one easy question that we'll answer is, what price should be you selling your services or your product on May? And think about it. Even if your answer is raising your price, just imagine how much money you were losing by not answering this question now. So this is awesome. You're going to learn how math people think with business, and how I've been able to help a company go from 5 million to 10 million. And now this year, we're going to go to 20 million. In the next 5 years to 100 million. You're going to see how a numbers person thinks to create strategy.
Awesome. Thank you, Martha. Okay, Paul, you're going to have to follow that.
Well, I would love Martha to be part of our team, and we're getting closer to that. But this last week, I did mention to a few of you that we were going to have a meeting with the city of Rio Rancho, and we finally did. It was this Monday, and the architect and I met with them. But we felt like really the people that were meeting with us, 4 of the city the two planners. I think there were someone else from another department, and then a oh gosh, he is just got on board with the city. But anyway, we just felt, the architect and myself felt, that this meeting really wasn't giving us the honor that we were needing and wanting. So they mentioned, well, Paul, what we need to do is to get you set up with the city manager. Well, duh, that's exactly why I've been communicating with them from the start, that we do want to speak with the people that are going to be making the decision. So as soon as we left there, they only gave us 30 minutes. As soon as we left that office, we both looked at each other and thought, wow, this was a waste of time. Paul, is the city manager here? And I said, you know what? Let's go directly to his office right now. And the city manager and the mayor's office is in the same location. So as soon as we went in the door, rang the bell, no one's there, rang the bell again. And sure enough, who comes out? The city manager. Hi, Paul. Hey, Matt, how are you doing? This, that, and the other. And I told him, you know, we just met with a couple of your colleagues here, and I'm here with my architect. I introduced him and just let him know that we thought that it wasn't a good use of time, and we have a very viable project. And you guys know me, that I've been a proponent for this city for, gosh, since I've been here. So, and they said, Paul, we're going to set up the appointment. Let me email you today with some criteria. And who comes right after that? The mayor. Hi, Paul. And so it was just a great opportunity that we had, in the sense that sometimes when things don't go well for you, you have the power to make things happen. And sometimes we don't want to dismiss something and think, okay, well, we weren't scheduled for something, but this is of importance and we need people to know about this. And sometimes you just have to, you
just make it
introduce yourself,
right?
Unannounced.
Yeah, you just make it happen, right, Paul?
Exactly.
Okay.
So he emailed, I saw him at the store at Natural Grocers that evening, and he emailed me, and we
Okay.
talked about other things. So it was great.
Congratulations, that's awesome. And you know that I have a large investor waiting for you. Okay,
Yes, exactly.
so Joseph, I'm interested. You're the last one. I want to hear it.
Yeah, well, I was listening to this, and I think there's a couple of things that came to mind. Just example, listening to Paul a moment ago, it's a kind of a tough thing to do, but you got to figure out how you do a balance between the patience and perseverance. You could walk out of that meeting, for example, and you say, well, we didn't get anywhere. Instead, you had the perseverance to go back in and say, I don't like the way that ended. Let's see if we can get a few more points across that are going to be, they're going to hit home. And that leads me to another point I was going to make, which is reviewing what you're doing, and are there other ways to achieve the goal, or the other, in this case, your case there, you did it by going back and talking to different people who got it, because a lot of people just like to say no. It's very hard to find people who say, yes, let's find a way to get it done. So enough on that point. Secondly, I do have a pretty decent background in marketing, Barbara, because the way that you sell your capability comes down to, I find, what you have and who you know.
Mhm.
So you're always trying to expand your network so you can have more people to know, and then present what you have, which is a success story in doing marketing. And how do I take that to your requirements and address your capabilities? Along with that, I had the pleasure years ago of flying home with the CEO of McDonnell Douglas. They're now part of Boeing.
Mhm.
So this is a very high up guy. And one thing that he taught me was take away people's excuses for not doing what you want them to do. How do you get them
Yes.
to stop giving you excuses for not doing it and start doing it for the right reasons, your reasons and their reasons?
Mhm.
So that's another piece that I would add to it. And then lastly, it's not lost on me that you need to understand what your competitors are up to. How are they looking to beat you? What can you do to prevent that? Hold on one second, please. I'll call you back in about 5 minutes, okay? Thanks. Sorry, another deal I'm working on. Sometimes, I'm sure, Barbara, you say, well, okay, I'll tell you what, we'll do the first one gratis, show you what we got. And if you like it,
Got that
you
far.
hire us, And boy, you don't know how many trials that I went to. Some of them successful, some of them were failures.
Mhm.
And rightfully so, that they were failures, and rightfully so they were successes. So, as they say, you spend money to make money. I've always believed
Yes.
that you gotta, if you walk in and say, I went to an acupuncture about 6 months ago, and they wanted to charge me $3,500 up front for a bunch of sessions. I say, you're crazy. I haven't even had one with you. How do I know you're any good?
Mhm.
Instead of another one I went to, I said, all right, let's try this, start out slow and then we'll see where it goes. And he might have made about the same money from me, but at least I felt comfortable that he proved to me he knew what he was doing, and he was able to win me over. So for what that's worth, I hope those are some points that take home.
That is awesome. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you please go ahead and put your information on the chat, and then you guys can save it so you can have a follow-up meeting. I wanted to get feedback before we leave, and I'm going to share my information too, if that's okay. So want to get feedback from, I guess, after you type, Mark, your feedback about the meeting.
Good. I mean, perspective for everyone. Like I mentioned before, just looking, to build relationships to the Southern San Diego area. And I know you have a large group, Marie, so this is just a partial part of the group that's here. So
Yes.
yeah, we'll see where it
You see
goes.
yourself joining the Fire Connect?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
He's
Barbara.
gonna raise the price, so do it now.
Yeah, it's actually going up May 1st. So if you guys wanted to take advantage of what we have right now, because there's only one lifetime, registration fee. And then there's a monthly fee, but then May 1st, it will be a yearly renewal. So take advantage of it. Barbara, what about you?
About
Feedback of this meeting.
interesting. Like I was mentioning, it's in my chat to everyone, that we're all in different fields, and while our needs are different, and our services are different, at the end of the day, there's a lot of commonality
Yes.
in the way that things are perceived, and about communication, about trust, and I think, Joe, you were talking about being trusting and kind of being taken advantage of, and it happens with everybody, and it's kind of nice to know that whatever it is that you guys are saying, that we're not alone.
Yes.
So,
All right. Joe. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. Are you done,
my
Barbara?
phone. I know, I left my phone number, I know.
Okay. All right. Joseph, what about you? Or Joe? How do you want to be
Well,
called? Or Joseph?
Joe is fine,
Joe.
either way. Well, I guess I'm in my viewpoint, right? It's nice to meet you people. It's nice to talk about business, but so far I haven't seen a connection. What I'm after looking for. I know you mentioned, Mary, that you have items like that, but this is
Yeah, I haven't-
where I'd say I need to
about-
trial before I'm buying.
Normally, Joe, is I will have a follow-up meeting and one-on-one, and that's when I will share my information. Because,
Mhm.
sometimes I don't want to take everybody's time here.
Sure.
And
sure.
I'm being respectful of everyone's time. So, but I will definitely have a follow-up call with you, Joe, or a meeting. Now, Martha, what about you? What did you think about the meeting?
Another group that I really liked. Remember the karate guy? I like that group. And I really like this one too. Like everyone has very deep thoughts and very experienced people. So I love this group. Fire Connect is an awesome group. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't know how this happened. I am a radio host at the KCA Radio Fire Up Connect. I don't know how it happened, but this is a monthly commitment that I don't know how you wind me, Marie, but I'm in it now. What other project are we working? She's working on a Finest Women in Real Estate reality show. So I'm going to come on in a small scene or something like that. But now we're working together to create another reality show about myself, and let's hope I entertain the audience.
Yeah.
So we're at the beginning stage.
Yes. All right. Paul, what about you?
Oh, yeah, there's so much that you could get out of this. I think thinking of one of the meetings we had previous to this is it was one of the co-founders of Airborne, and he had other products, real products that we see on the market that have made a big significance in the world. And he mentioned something that stuck to me. He said, I remember when we were developing that product, there were only 6 of us that developed it, and it turned out to be a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we sold it. And there were other products that he was mentioning, but he said, when I started to get a feeling of fulfillment in my business along those lines, he said, is when I started to look outside of my industry. And it really does make sense. So anyone that's on this platform that thinks, okay, well, I'm in real estate, or I'm in this and I'm that, and I don't see anyone that's in there, really, don't dismiss it so quickly. I think everyone that's in business needs to know how the general public from different industries are feeling these days. That's how you really stay in touch as far as business. And just to emphasize on that product, I think Warren Buffett, I listen to a lot of these big players, The Economist, gosh, I forget his name. But anyway, this is what really makes business happen, is when you start to see how regular people are trying to make it in this world. And just by us talking and having a passion for what we do really can enlighten us in some way. Because let's face it, if we're just in our industry and that's what we're just wrapped around, before you know it, you lose the edge, and you really have to start communicating with different people in different industries. And that's what I really enjoy about this platform.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Paul. All right. So my name is Marie Wade. I am the founder and CEO of Finest Women in Real Estate and Fire Up Connect. I do have a lot of organizations that I'm involved. I actually just launched International Wealth Builders Association in January. And this is something that I think, most of you can be a part of, because, we're always looking for people for different topics. This is a real estate investment group that we started in our community. And I am also involved with a lot of real estate land development projects. I work with Paul Matamoros on his project. I work with Martha on the marketing side. I produce radio show, TV show. I produce magazine. I have also a group of different organizations, like I mentioned, the Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs. There's the Filipino American Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also involved with WCTE, which is an international, football. It's actually 2 companies, WCTE and AFX, which is an international football league, and they also have the company that helps the football players with, avoiding getting concussions, something like that. And then I am also, I have other companies that are looking for investors and partnerships. So Joe, I have one company that is looking for someone like you. And I think this would be a great connection for you, because they are working with aircraft, and they, design luxury yachts and automobile in a very high level. And I think, and their target is around $100 to $300 million. So this might be a good connection. I don't know if there's an opportunity for you to, just have some time and talk to him. He's a scientist, and I think that would be a great connection for you. I don't know.
Sure, I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
I know something about aircraft, luxury yachts, and automobiles.
Yes, I think that would be perfect. That's why when I heard what you were talking about, TSA and all of that, I think that that would be a perfect, and it's perfect timing because I just recently connected with him and I gathered all the information and I'm actually connecting with a lot of people. Now, for the International World Builders Association, Mark, I think there's something there that I'm not sure yet. We probably need to have a one-on-one meeting. So I really totally understand what your services is, because it's hard when you're hosting the meeting. I'm trying to coordinate and listen to all of you too. So I have to repeat sometimes the recording and listen again. And then after that, we can probably schedule a meeting. So I think that's about it. I think this is the first time I have extended the time to 14 minutes. I normally end at noon, but I think it's very valuable that we get this information out of us and get some great connection, because your experience is very incredible. And I think there's so much, potential for collaboration and opportunities. And I would really encourage, Barbara, Mark, and Joe to consider being part of Fire Connect, because we have a lot of people that are going through this channel, and we put out a campaign almost every day. And so you'll meet different types of people here. If you really wanted to network, you can attend whatever meetings you want. We meet every Tuesday at 3 o'clock and every Friday at 11 a.m. And it's up to you when you want to come in, because it's a matter of, taking advantage of the people that are coming in. And there's always new person that you can always connect with. And that's how effective my format here with Fire Up Connect. Okay, any questions at all from anyone? Go ahead, Paul.
I just wanted to mention to Joe, I forgot to mention in our here at the Economic Development of Rio Rancho, there's 2 huge labs out here. And what we're trying to promote is STEM and STEAM, autonomous commercial vehicles. So there is a huge opportunity for modern technology here. And I was just typing because I'd like to meet with you too. So anyway, that's what I wanted.
I sent my contact information on
Okay,
the.
definitely, that's good. Thank you, Paul. Anyone else? Any comments or questions?
Along those lines, Paul, in 2011, I was chairman of an electric vehicle company. So I know a bit about it.
Fantastic. I'm going to reach out to you, Joe.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. So make sure that you connect with each other, because I'm sure when you do a follow-up meeting, there's going to be more conversation and you will find some ways to work together. I mean, I always find a way to work together with anybody that I meet. That's why I ended up with so many projects. So anyway, okay. And thank you so much for your time. Make sure that you save your contact. I'm going to go make sure that I have everything here. And if you wanted to attend the next meeting, please, check with me. Let's connect. I will follow up for sure, Joe, with you, because I already have someone in mind. And Mark, we probably need to have more conversation. And Barbara, I'm interested in what you offer, because I'm in the marketing business. You just never know what we can collaborate. I think that would be a good thing for you to also be a part of Fire Connect if you have a lot of marketing services that you can offer to my members. Okay.
That would be great.
Okay. So schedule a time with me and we will talk to you soon. All right. Let's all get fired up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. It was
Bye,
very
guys.
informative. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great weekend.